Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have been waiting to interview this actress for at least a year. I've been looking all over for her, and I finally got her on my show. It is Kathleen Kinmont, and she is best known as Kelly Meeker in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Hey, Kathleen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Scotty. Thank you. What a cool intro.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you on. Like I said, I've been waiting for so long to have you on, and your character is one of my favorite in the franchise, and your death scene is definitely, my favorite of the franchise. I absolutely love it. It always gives me chills every single time I watch the movie.
Are you serious? That death scene is your favorite of
It
the franchise?
is.
That's a huge compliment. Thank
Yes,
you.
and I
There's
think
a
a
lot
reason
of
for
death
that.
scenes to choose from.
A reason for that though is because when I was younger, that's when I started watching horror movies. My first horror movie was Friday the 13th Part 7, and then I watched all the Friday the 13th, and then I went into all the Halloweens, and I was maybe like 6 or 7, and when I saw your death scene, that one was probably the one that affected me out of all of the death scenes I've seen. It affected me the most, and I think it has to do with the music and Michael Myers standing up and your acting ability, and just the fact that like he just gets the shotgun and shoves it up, and you go to the wall. It's just amazing. I can't wait till we get to that question. But to start out more basic, how did you get your start into acting?
Well, my mother's an actress, or was an actress. She just left us last November, but she was an actor for many, many years before I came along. And I was actually born on a TV show that she was doing, the Joey Bishop Show.
Nice.
And so it was always around me. I think it was like a family business. And she showed me what it looked like and how she responded to the calls, and her career was an influence, and I think it had a lot to do with her. And plus I like performing. I like being on stage. I like it when people watch. And I think you have to kind of have some of that in you. I mean, I know a lot of actors are shy people, and there's a part of me that's very private, I would say, but I also feel like it's a real opportunity to explore the human condition on another deeper level. And psychologically, it's been such an incredible journey to be an actor for so long and get to play so many different parts and delve into so many different character minds.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I've been very, very lucky. I've been and I'm super grateful for all the different things and avenues that brought me into this world, and I appreciate it, and I just want to keep working.
I definitely, and I mean, Halloween obviously is like this iconic franchise, you know what I mean? And I don't really think many people knew that Halloween 4 was going to do so good, even though they advertised it with the subtitle being The Return of Michael Myers, just because a lot of people were turned off by Halloween 3, just because, there wasn't any Michael Myers. But also on the flip side of that, a lot of people might have been coming back just to see how is he being brought back. And like your character, she was definitely a villainess to an extent. Like she wanted Brady, and Brady was with Rachel, obviously. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love the cops do it by the book nightgown as well. I absolutely love that. I do. Like I always, every time I see that, I'm like, I freaking love that nightgown.
Makeshift nightgown, right? Yes, I do sell those, and they sell like hotcakes at conventions. And yeah, that was kind of a really fun. It gave her a little bit of an irony and sense of humor, because that character, I mean, from the very get-go, her opening line was just such a shutdown, and just such a massive smackdown to some kid who was just learning how to try. Really, it wasn't even like he had any game at all. He was just like, I just want to get in the water, and I'm just like a shark that's just like, like, gave him no chance whatsoever. So I really, in that, it really established who that character was.
Right.
She was harsh.
Absolutely.
but like a shark, we need them
Yep.
for our microbiology. Without them, it's not the same ecosystem.
Absolutely. So what was your audition like for Halloween for the Return of Michael Myers?
It was pretty straightforward. I believe Dwight was in the room, and Dwight Little, our director, and I believe some producers possibly. It was quite a long time ago, so it's hard to really remember. It was
Right.
at a time when I was just going on so many auditions too.
Right.
I was a young kid, and that's really where the world is your oyster, and kind of like this ingenue thing, and ingenue, is that a word?
I don't know. What is now?
It sounds like something you would get at the candy aisle at the theater, right? I'll have some of the ingenues, the sour ones. But yeah, it was easy. It was an easy audition. I remember. I don't remember going back maybe more than once or twice, and I think I got it pretty quickly. And what was really neat is that Sasha Jensen, who got cast as Brady, he and I already knew each other from school.
Nice.
Which was really great, because when we got to Utah, it was like, oh my God, it was one of those really fun,
awesome.
like, I had no idea. And then it's like, oh my God, you're gonna be Brady, because he took my best friend to prom. I mean, we were just pals.
That's awesome.
And it was like, oh, okay, so cool. I get to make out with you. Start practicing.
That's awesome. And it's funny. It's funny when you say it out loud, but it is part of the job. Like, oh, you ready to go practice to make out?
Yeah. It's a totally a natural experience, and it's very hard on relationships because of that, because people have to have a superhuman or metahuman amount of trust. And I did have a boyfriend at the time, and it was like, but you also want to have like any other thing you would rehearse, and you want it to look good, and you want your body to be comfortable in that. If we got to the set and we were all giggle fest because we hadn't quite gotten to a place where it was like, okay, so we're comfortable in this. Like if you had to do a ballroom dance scene or a fight sequence or anything else that love scenes are just as formulaic or technical, really, like anything else, like you would, like the death scene that I did, and you've got to have some, wrap your brain around it first so that you can get into it, so what you're prepared for. And I think that love scenes like that are, because they're so intimate and raw, and people are in a vulnerable situation, not just with each other, but in their own bodies, and all these people around, and it's totally surreal. You want to feel like you can really just trust your partner. Absolutely. So where hand placement is going to go, and you're like already okay with that. So you're not calling cut in the middle of something when it took like 20 minutes to set up the shot. Directors hate that when actors call cut.
Yep.
Lesson, folks. Well, it's just a tip, because you got, they're looking for the real stuff. And sometimes, they want the spontaneity to happen as well. But in those things, you want to be trusting.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like you said, they're setting up the shot, which could take at least 20 minutes, to set that up. So
or longer.
Yeah. So having to, like you said, call cut, like that isn't right, like, because it could end up like, making everything not go the way it should. It could end.
Right. And then it creates more stress on the set, which clams everyone up, especially the actor. And you just don't want to be that. You don't want to have that clammed up feeling. You don't want to be so self-conscious that now I'm in a flop sweat and everyone's looking at me. You have to go away from all of that and just be so loosey-goosey in your flesh bag.
Absolutely. So about your death scene, obviously, as I mentioned, it is my favorite death scene in the entire franchise. I absolutely love it. And the thing is, like, it's a bloodless death scene, but it's so impactful. So how was this death scene filmed and prepped?
It was quite a brilliant piece of engineering, actually. And I have an intense amount of respect for uh, stunt people, stunt coordinators, the technical things that they do to make things look realistic, but also keep the actor safe, or the stunt human safe that's doing the stepping in. But it was all me for this. And before I got into costume, they put me in a harness. The harness had a wire that went up out of the back of the flannel shirt that I was wearing. So there was a hole in the flannel shirt right at the back, and a zip wire. They had a hole drilled into the doorway, into the door that I was swinging on, and they placed like a 10-speed bike seat, drilled that into the door. They had took full measurements of my body before all of this, my leg height, where it would be comfortable enough for me to get up on it, because they wanted my legs dangling, my feet dangling, right? Because I was impaled and lifted.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it was a boom, boom.
Yep.
My arms. Ready to play Michael Myers. Talk about gender bender. So they had me get up on this thing, on this seat, which was not very comfortable. And they took the apple boxes away from my feet. They're like, okay, you ready? But because they had me with a wire, I was lifted a little bit. So it wasn't just all of my weight on the bike seat, which was uncomfortable. But so they had me lifted, but it was still going to be like me coming up into frame, right? So they were pulling me. And I think they had maybe a little bit of something, maybe like a pad on the door too, to break the hit on my head in case I happened to smash my head. I never hit my head.
That's good.
I think I was always just really aware of it too. The only thing I remember that was super uncomfortable was after doing this a few times, we did a series so that you don't yell cut and have to keep, resetting and marking. Just doing a series of them saves time. So, by the end of like the fifth one, my guts and kidneys and bladder and everything that's like, an internal intestine was just getting squeezed and cut off, and and I'm breathing heavy, and you're getting into it. So by the end of it, I was just like wrong, so when they took me off, everything filled up with my natural body fluid.
Oh my gosh.
And I kind of just went into like an internal cramp. For about a minute and a half. So it was a little shocking. I was like, what's going on? It was just like your bladder is filling. It was something stupid. I think we're laughing, not laughing, but it was like, it wasn't really like, I felt like I was having a heart attack, but I was fine. It was probably just all the adrenaline too. It was. Absolutely. It was real. So yeah, what you got to see on film was really a human going through some physical condition.
Wow.
As well.
Were you nervous at all to use that harness or to perform the stunts for your death scene?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Were you nervous to perform the stunts for your death scene and using the harness and all that?
No, I was not, because these people that were working on this film were top notch and capable, and it wasn't like I was dealing with fire or it was all things like this are done by the numbers, and they everything is talked about and dealt with. If I hadn't been so informed and so felt like the logistics of this thing were really, really thought out, and it was all safe and there was people around me and they were ready to take me down whenever it was too much. I wasn't dangling from a roof or anything. Not like Danielle and Rachel.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean
Oh,
Ellie. Oh,
Ellie,
I'm calling
yeah.
her character
Oh God.
name. But yeah, Danielle and Ellie had some really intense stuff up on that
Yeah.
roof. And yeah, that was a lot, you know.
That's
And I think,
crazy.
and Danielle, of course, had a stunt double, but I think the
Mhm.
stunt double even slipped it, or Danielle said there was a few things, but nobody got hurt. Nobody got, there were no real injuries or anything. There's always kind of like a bump or a scrape, but
Right.
you know, or a bladder filling up too fast.
That's awesome though. And I mean, like I said, I love that death scene. And I mean, it's about 10 days or so away till October and Halloween season starting up, which is so exciting that I didn't just get you on my show, but I got you this close to October. And AMC Fear Fest is starting up. That's my time of year, and I work from home now because of the pandemic and everything. So I'm so excited to actually be able to be here and watch AMC Fear Fest all day long, and it's gonna be so much fun. And
Are you doing that while you're working?
I do it while I work. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah. I'm a great multitasker, but yes, I do that while I work. And I know that I believe October 2nd, I want to say it's that Saturday. I think this is the 2nd, is a Halloween marathon. So I'm so excited.
awesome.
I'm so
Well, I'll have
excited.
to tune in too and check it out.
Yes,
See what it's like.
absolutely.
Well, you
So
know, women have been multitasking to soap operas forever.
yep,
So yeah.
absolutely. Hey, I watch Days of Our Lives. No shame here.
Thank God for TV. It's really
Yep,
become our buddy
yep,
and our peace of mind, and
yep.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's more than entertainment these days.
I even like when we were at the office, I'm a senior web developer for the Coast Guard. So
Oh
when
wow.
I was at the office, like I would have to listen to my podcast with it, like from my phone, like put the earbuds in and that, because I can't work and be functional if I don't have some type of background noise. Like I need that background noise, because if I'm just there and there's nothing I'm listening to, I just feel unmotivated and everything. So whether it's TV or if I'm at the office or whatever, and I have like, you know, earbuds or something in, listen to a podcast like
My
that.
boyfriend's the same way. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's a very creative, productive
yeah,
human. That's
that's how,
like,
that's how I am.
well,
So yeah.
yeah, and it's just kind of you know, the music
Hmm.
soothes the savage beast.
Yeah.
And it helps kind of ground and
Hmm.
keep the chatter down in the
Yep.
brain, maybe.
Yep.
That was my juice.
And kind of keep the like the
Trying to keep the
mind flowing.
chatter down by
Yep.
knocking over my juice, thinking it still had its thing on. Nothing like a little lemon ginger cayenne to
Nice.
keep the day
Nice.
happening.
Exactly. So when you first got the script for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, like what were your initial thoughts and reactions to it?
Wow, this is going to be really scary. Especially starting with that Loomis scene
Yeah.
in the ambulance. I was like, oh, this is going to be radical.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, that it's just, I just knew that also because Danielle was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and that, and a girl,
Mm-hmm.
the whole psychology of that takes it to a level of such vulnerability
Yeah.
that we are so afraid for her.
Yeah.
And it reminds us of our vulnerability
Yeah.
too. And because Halloween is not a fantastical monster, it's not a sci-fi.
Right.
This is a very, very sick human
Mm-hmm.
who has an agenda
Mm-hmm.
and addresses.
And that's
and
the
a
thing that
really
makes it scary.
scary mask.
That's what makes it scary, because you have this man that is stalking, especially like starting with the first one, and it continues on where he's like stalking these normal people in a normal suburban type of town, you know, where it could be anybody's town, and he's stalking these people before he kills them. That's what makes it scary. It's not the jump scares or the kills or the blood. It's the fact that you have this crazy maniac that's so evil and literally is wearing a mask and is going around stalking babysitters or people and then killing them.
And the reason and why that's so scary is because it's so legit a possibility.
Yeah,
We have
absolutely.
that in this
Yep.
earth,
Yeah.
and they come in many forms,
Hmm.
and it's it makes us all, you know, I hope,
Hmm.
really aware.
Yeah.
I think that now, because of threats from all over, I mean, I've got homeless people in our neighborhood
Hmm.
that are so batshit crazy,
Hmm.
and not just a danger to
Yeah.
themselves but to others because of
Yeah.
their desperate drug addictions
Yeah.
and mania and
Hmm.
sickness. So you kind of like it takes it to another level of
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah.
And that's when to answer your question, for me, that those are things that really freak me out. I'm not afraid of Godzilla. You know, I'm
Right.
not afraid of
Right.
I'm not afraid of like the Incredible Hulk or what, you know, like
Right.
I get it. Like all those things are fun and
Yeah.
you know they're, but it's the real things, the
Yeah.
people that go out there that stalk humans
Right.
and hurt them,
Hmm.
and a child is, you know, that's our future and we're
Yeah.
supposed to protect them. So when it was like this little girl, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be
Right.
this is gonna be good. If
Yeah.
it's a scary
Absolutely.
movie, they're gonna hit all the formula properly. And Dwight, because he's so creative and such a wonderful director and so wonderful, he was so great with all of us.
Yeah.
He gave us such freedom and support and encouragement. He really knew how to set up the whole movie because he did his homework on what the Hollowed Eve was about, you know,
Yeah.
and showed all those really great stills
Yeah.
of that, you know, the crops and the
Yeah.
just something about, there's a, you know, a starkness to that.
Yeah.
So he kept that in line with the whole film. You know, it was, we filmed in winter. There were no leaves on the trees. That
Hmm.
everything looked really great. The environment was perfect.
Awesome.
So and when I found out we were going to shoot in Salt Lake, I was like, oh great, they've got the great houses. Everything's going to
Nice.
look killer. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So what was it like working with Ellie Cornell and Donald Pleasance and all that, and Danielle Harris?
Well, everyone could not have been more lovely and
Hmm.
kind and supportive of each other. We all just had a really good time. I mean, Donald Pleasance was obviously the older British actor
Hmm.
who was really like, ooh, the actor's on set. You know, we were always
Right.
like, we were all kids, especially with Daniel. I mean, at the end of the day, every day we'd go back to our hotel, we go swimming in this amazing indoor swimming pool, which
Nice.
was just a blast.
Nice.
So that was great. We would get a
Hmm.
lot of our, you know, our kidness out. And we
Hmm.
played with Danielle. And I swam with
Nice.
Danielle like every day. And we
That's
have
awesome.
great memories of that. She was 9, 10 years old. And you know, she was just a lovely kid and she needed to play too.
Nice.
So and then when Donald Pleasance was around, it was like, ooh, should we ask him some actor questions? And you know,
Nice.
because we were all pretty green.
Yep.
And but I think Dwight tapped into that and he kept all of us very relaxed
Yeah.
and comfortable. Nobody treated us like we were the young actors
Right.
and Donald Pleasance was the actor. You know,
Exactly.
nobody was ever pandered to, and everybody. It felt just like a very happy,
Mm.
excited, joyful set that we had something that was going to be good, you
Yeah.
know, regardless whether like, oh, we're going to save the
Mhm.
franchise. Nobody was thinking about that. Everyone
Right.
was just like, let's just do a really good Halloween movie.
Absolutely. And obviously it worked because, you know, the timeline kept going on up until part 6. So you got 2 more movies with this timeline, which is amazing. And I mean, this timeline, there's a lot of controversy, especially when it gets into parts 5 and 6. But I think this timeline is my favorite. I absolutely love 4, 5, and 6. 4 is absolutely my favorite sequel. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you are actually my only interview from part 4 so far.
Oh,
But which is exciting. I have, I guess I told you before we started recording, I have Sasha Jensen on coming up on next month, so I'm excited about that. But
and he's marvelous. I
yeah, I'm
love him.
excited. Yep.
Great
And
guy.
I know that
Great.
yeah, and I know that I absolutely love 4 and 5. And I even love 6, but 4 is definitely my favorite. And the ending is such a shock factor with Danielle Harris as Jamie, dressed as a little boy, Michael Myers as a clown with the scissors after, stabbing her stepmom. Like, it really is it from the movie from start to finish is amazing. Like, even from the beginning when the EMTs are killed, like, by Michael, like, I absolutely loved that. It was so creepy. It was done well. Like, it was great. And
Yes.
absolutely a phenomenal job for all the actors, the director, everybody involved, SFX and all that, because they all did an amazing movie.
I agree. And the prop master who
Mhm.
came up with it, who I think the cops do it by the book. That was scripted, that I was wearing a cops do it by the book
Okay,
t-shirt.
nice.
But Bucky, our prop designer,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you remember, there was a guy wearing a hard
Yeah,
hat and
yep. He was
Bucky.
the one that got electrocuted. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So Bucky kind of got in there in all different areas,
Nice. That's
which
awesome.
is so neat, because when you have people that
Hmm.
are really, I mean, even down to the props,
Hmm.
and I mean, it's not, I don't even say even down to the props, because props are so vital. They're
Hmm.
like a huge component of
Yep.
everything. But like, I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan, and
Nice.
Castaway is one of my
Nice.
favorites. And the prop guy is the one who came up with the look for
Hmm.
Wilson.
Nice.
And that, you think about it, the prop guy created a character
Yep.
for the film that
Yeah.
is iconic. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that ball is in the
Yep.
Smithsonian. I mean, it should
Yeah.
be. But things like that, when you just know that you have certain people within, I mean, everybody really. Mike Lookinland was our greenskeeper. I don't know if
Nice.
anybody knows that.
Bobby Brady, right?
Bobby Brady was our
Yep.
greenskeeper because he lived in
Yep.
Salt Lake City,
Yep.
and I
Yep. And
couldn't believe it.
here's
But
trivia for people that don't know, but Mike Lookinland, his wife, was the dead waitress in the Penny's gas station.
oh, no way!
Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
didn't
I
even
think it
know
was Kelly
that.
Lookinland. Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
When you think like, when am I ever going to get to work with Bobby Brady?
I
And then I
know,
was
right?
on set,
Yeah.
and I was like, is that? And it was. And I watched him work.
Nice.
And I mean, I'm telling you, there was never a leaf out of place. And those leaves that are blown through those
Yeah.
shots, sometimes they can look so stupid, right? Where it looks like somebody just took a handful and just tossed it into the wind,
Yeah.
in the fan, just like, across something.
Yep.
And his were like, God, it was an art. I
Yeah.
was so impressed. So that's and this is Bobby Brady. This is a guy that was an actor for, I don't know, 10 years of his
Yeah.
life as a child. And he's like, no,
Yep.
I still love to be on the set. I still
Yeah.
love to work. I'm got a great life. And I don't know what he's still doing now, but it was
Yeah.
like, that was an amazing moment for me, because
Yeah.
I've been crew on shows too. I think
Mhm.
every actor should be a crew
Yeah.
member doing
Yep.
something.
And that's
PA.
what a lot of people don't realize, is that you see the people that are on the screen, which you think that they're the reason, but there's a whole crew member, from the props to the special effects to the hair and makeup to the wardrobe to the gaffer to electrical and everything in between, like visual arts and post-production editing and first director, second assistant director, and the main director, producers,
Craft
executive. You have
service.
everything. So like craft
People
services,
to keep you
exactly.
watered and fed, and
Yeah.
everybody, the medic, the people,
Yes.
the people in accounting, the people that are paying your check,
Yep.
the people that
Exactly.
are taking care of the insurance. All these people are super
Hmm.
vital. And if you
Yeah.
don't have a respect and a gratitude for your team,
Yeah.
So
Yep,
anyway, it's
exactly.
good. I agree that
Yep,
the team always needs to be really,
yep,
really, it's not just the lead singer of the band.
exactly. 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 That's a great point. So, what was the best part about filming Halloween for The Return of Michael Myers, and what was the worst?
Hmm. Let's see. The best part, I would say, was getting that line, fuck off, Wade, after we had already filmed the scripted line, which was get lost, Wade.
Okay.
So that was what was on the page for the day.
Hmm.
Got it. And they're like, okay, moving on. Dwight's like, hold on, wait. He's like, Kathleen, how would you feel about saying, for shits and giggles, fuck off, Wade?
Right.
And I was like, I go, do I have like 2 or 3 minutes to crack up, to laugh, like get it out of my system first? He's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I was
That's
like, okay,
awesome.
okay, okay. I'm like, oh,
That's
oh
so
my
awesome.
God, I can't believe I get to do this. I had one shot at it and it
Nice.
made the film.
Nice. I'm glad.
And that was a great moment for me because just as an actor, just being able to be like, oh, okay, yeah, improv skills. This is really
Right.
what it's all about.
Right.
And being, and I mean, like on the fly, camera setup, everyone's ready. Can you do it? Can you deliver
Right.
this curveball?
Right.
And I did, and I didn't laugh. And I was like in the same, pretty much like, it was more of like, I might have smiled a little bit, but only because I was smiling at myself,
So
you know.
when Brady and his friends were laughing, was that real laughter, or was that part of what they told him to do as well when you said that?
I think that no, that had already, I can't remember whether, well, either way, it
It
might
made
have
sense
been,
either way.
we might have gotten me first and we might have gotten them second. Yeah, because it
Okay.
did feel like they were really laughing at
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yep. Yep. I could see it. And I
Yeah.
think with you saying fuck off, Wade, it left a bigger imprint of your character that she is this type of bitch compared to saying get lost, Wade, which I think because if you think about it, not just delivery, but the line itself, like it could have like get lost, Wade, I don't think would have done as much justice for your character than the
Well,
original.
it's the F word, Scotty, and we
Yep.
only get
Yep.
one
Yep.
per show like that. There's an
Yep.
FDA rating that doesn't allow us to be all
Yep.
motherfucking shitty fucking, you know what I mean? You can't be all
Yep.
like blue ball bitch all over the place. There's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on your
Yeah, you
show, but
are. Yeah.
I mean, there's like, whoa, they
Right.
don't like that too much. I
Yeah.
mean, they want kids to come and see the movie, so you can only have one.
Yeah.
So he was like, this was kind of like at the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
Really, I think that was my very first scene of the film, or that we shot,
Right.
actually. I think it
Nice.
was. So, and that helped me too. I was like, oh, if they use it, then I'm like, I
Yeah.
got some street cred now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was a really great moment. Like I pulled it
Awesome.
off. It didn't take me 7 times to get
Mhm.
it. And and even then, if it took 7 times to get it, so
Yeah.
what? You get it the seventh time. But I felt like, okay, we got it. Let's move on. I was like,
Nice.
God, I hope they use it. So that
That's
was
awesome.
great. Least favorite part. Um, oh, you know what I did one day during this,
Oh boy.
and this has really, you'll never even see this in the movie. It was just
Okay.
something that I did to kind
Okay.
of get into that freaked out character mode of, sometimes what I would like to do at Disneyland is wait till everybody's kind of walked through Haunted Mansion. And
Yeah.
then you're kind of like the last person to go, and the velvet ropes are still swinging and there's nobody there. So I was like, I wonder if I should just go check out the set while everybody's at lunch.
Right.
Like, and I did. So I went and toured the house for like a good 15 scary 20-minute
Nice.
little
Nice.
and I just felt the vibe, and I was just kind of conjured up a little bit of
That's awesome.
Spookville. So that was like, okay, I'm good.
Nice. And I mean that's absolutely awesome. Like, and I mean, imagine being on that set. That would be so much fun. Like, did the environment feel, because you said you filmed in the winter, so did the environment feel like it was Halloween?
It did. It did. It
Nice.
was cold in there. Of course, they have no heat running because they don't want to be turning the heat off and on. The doors are open all the time, so it's
Yeah.
useless. But yeah, there's something about being in a house filled with people talking, crew, lights are on. When you go in there, everything's off,
Mhm.
and all that energy has dissipated, and and then what I was really doing is just kind of like, if I was alone and somebody else was in here following me, this
Ooh,
place is just so damn creepy with the stained
yeah.
glass, and the smoky was still kind of, because we use smoke, so it's still
Right.
billowing a little bit.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome.
I was like, okay, I think I got this.
That's awesome. So the last question I got for you is, do you have any other projects or films in the works that you would like to promote to the listening and viewing audience, as well as any social media accounts or websites to plug?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
Well, I've got a TV show called Phoenix that will be coming out. So look for it. They're still editing. We filmed it during
Okay.
COVID. I believe there's 6 episodes, and so it will be released on a platform for streaming.
Nice.
And I'll stay in touch with you about that to let you
Okay.
know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah, and there's another film that I just did with Branscombe Richmond, the
Okay.
wonderful actor that played Bobby Six Killer on Renegade
Awesome.
with me,
Awesome.
and we filmed that in Hawaii. It's called Aloha with Love
Nice.
with Tiffany Smith, and she's really great, and Trevor Donahue. That probably will go to a Hallmark platform or something
Okay.
like that, because it's a really sweet rom-com.
Okay.
And I also happen to have really handy right here both of my books.
Nice.
I should have been nicer to Quentin Tarantino and other short stories of epic fails and saves. I wrote
Nice.
this.
That's
It's like a
awesome.
real book.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's
it's got
awesome.
pictures,
Nice.
and it's available on uh, Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. I
Okay.
recorded the Audible, so that's
Okay.
available, and
Awesome.
it's on my website, KathleenKinmont.com. Also,
Perfect.
my lovely children's book, Magic and Beauty,
Nice. That's
about
awesome.
it's just about the creation of the world. It's not really
Cute.
thick, not like the,
Right. Right.
but
But it's a
it's
kid's book too,
magic.
so yeah. I love that. That's so cute. That's so
Thank you.
cute.
The pictures are really beautiful. I have a wonderful artist, April Ballantyne. Here, I'll
Nice.
show you some of the beautiful drawings.
Nice.
If your kid likes unicorns or Pegasus or
Nice.
horses or both,
Absolutely.
this is the book for them. I'm pretty horse crazy.
Awesome.
And this is a book just like totally about my life and my musings on life, and
Okay.
every single one of my epic fails and saves. Well, not every one, but 52 of them. One a week. You could take a whole year reading that.
Exactly. I
What
love it, man.
else? I'm in love with Doug Miller. He's amazing. Life is great. My kid is turning
Nice.
17 in October.
That's awesome. Well,
My
happy birthday
beautiful
to him.
daughter. Yeah, sure. Her name is Aiden, and she's
Nice.
fabulous. She's a wonderful dancer and
That's awesome.
just a brilliant person. And I'm just really grateful. I've got a great family, great friends,
That's
and
awesome. That's
wonderful
awesome.
fans like you who
Thank
keep
you.
me motivated and
Thank you.
inspired to keep
Yep.
going, because some days you really wonder, like, should I keep doing this? But
Right. But then when somebody tells you they're looking for you for a year and they finally found you,
I'm like, darn it, I was this close to just leaving. No, I love this business. I love what I do. I
Absolutely.
hope that, everything I've done, I'm
Yeah.
glad to bring the entertainment and
I'm
some
gl-
enjoyment.
and I'm glad that
So
you do what you do as well. And I mean, obviously, I know you from Halloween for the best because I'm a big horror buff slasher Scotty. I mean, can it get any more obvious? But I mean, I absolutely, you did brilliant in that, and I will be looking into getting your book as well, because I would like to, you know, keep up with you and everything, and obviously keep in touch. You have my email, and I really do thank you for joining me. I've been so excited for this interview. I've been looking forward to it since we booked it. So I'm really, really thrilled that we were able to make this happen.
Thank you, Scotty. It really was a
Absolutely.
pleasure. I really
Thank you.
appreciate your loyalty
Yep.
and all your kind words. I'm
Awesome. Thank
stoked
you. Every
to
single
finally
word I
meet
said was
you.
truth too. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank,
absolutely. You have a great rest of your day, Kathleen.
thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Be
Bye.
well. Bye.